Well, it has been a week for Elon Musk. On Monday, he was in Israel meeting with Netanyahu and live streaming to X, while his SpaceX was launching another Falcon with more Starlink satellites. Then Tuesday, he posted, then deleted a right-wing conspiracy theory meme. Wednesday, you might have seen a little something about him telling former X advertisers to go F themselves for what he called blackmailing him with their advertising money. Then Thursday, he delivered the long-awaited first Cybertrucks to customers at the Gigafactory in Austin, complete with videos showing that the Cybertruck is better at towing than a Ford F-350 diesel. It's faster than a Porsche 911, even while towing a 911, and that it's actually bulletproof. Of course, they also revealed that it's going to be more expensive with less range than what they originally announced. But forget the Cybertruck for a minute. There's something else that he is not talking about, and we think it could be bigger than Cybertruck, bigger than Tesla's entire automotive business. And today on Dumb Money, we're going to be talking about it. What Elon didn't say and why we think Tesla could be the investment opportunity of the decade.
This is Dumb Money Live.
Hey there, Dave here along with Chris and Jordan. We are Dumb Money. Welcome to Dumb Money Live. We do need your help getting this video out there. Help us get to the elusive 100,000 subscriber mark. We're less than 2,000 away. You can support the channel, not with your money. I mean, advertisers need to go F themselves. All we want is a tap to the like button. It is quick, it is easy, it is free, and while you're at it, just drop us a comment, tell the almighty algorithm just how engaging we are. Chris, Jordan, this is not the first time we've talked about Tesla. It's not going to be the last time we talk about Tesla, but today we're talking about a part of Tesla that I think most people are underestimating. The Tesla Optimus, the Tesla bot, the Elon bot. It's the humanoid robot we've only seen a few glimpses of, but I think it could be a bigger deal than all of the cars and Cybertrucks that Tesla is ever going to sell. And Chris, I see you're not at home. You're in Austin right now, right?
Yeah. Where else? You have to be in Austin with the Cybertruck event, Dave. Yeah, I came down and I'm in the movie theater of Soho House down here, which is pretty cool
That's
place
just like
to
the most
work.
random co-working space that I can imagine. But
I have the whole theater to myself. This is
can you like show us your surround first of all? Let's just
it's really cool.
It's just the craziest thing that I've ever. Yeah, well, good work. But I know that you are you jumped back on the Tesla bandwagon, and I think your thesis is all about the Tesla bot, right?
Well, wait. Okay, I think there's something else that if you're going to start a conversation about Tesla right now, you can't do it without talking about this first. So can we rewind to what's going on with Twitter? Because it is exceptionally important if you're a Tesla investor. So I think what Elon kind of did say this week was that advertisers were going to put Twitter out of business. And I don't think he was joking. I've been following this story since the day he bought Twitter, and I don't think people understand he was actually speaking the truth. I think that Twitter is starting to spiral so quick right now. I can see it in Elon. He didn't look good. I can tell he is stressed. Everyone's been talking about that. He is stressed. I think he's stressed because he knows what's coming. And what's coming is he is going to have to infuse, I think, another $10+ billion into Twitter to keep it. I don't think he has a choice. He can't, and whether he's not going to sell Twitter. I don't think it's going to happen. Even if he does sell Twitter, he still might need to put more money in to cover the gap in the sales price. So as a Tesla investor, you need to be loving this. And here's why. This is yet going to be another opportunity, I think, to acquire Tesla shares at a deep discount to current prices when it happens. We saw what happened last time Elon had to liquidate Tesla shares for Twitter. The market now knows. So the second that there's a rumor that he's starting to sell shares, or we get confirmation via SEC registration that he's selling shares, I think we will see a massive Tesla dump out of fear.
And fear is the
that'll be the
time
opportunity.
for us to jump in and buy shares
I,
as everyone else is freaking out.
well, if you like Tesla long term, so that's the second part of this conversation. But for those here that do want to get into Tesla, you need to be doing Tesla research right now, because this could be the big window coming up. I think after this next sale of Tesla shares, which I think is inevitable for Elon, I'm not sure if there will be another.
So on Wednesday, he did specifically say, like, the "go F yourself" quote was the one that made headlines, but he went on to say that these advertisers, by blackmailing me, are going to kill Twitter, going to kill
He's
X.
starting to
It's going
deflect.
to put them out
He's
of business, and
deflecting blame.
he's trying to like he's hedging his bet, basically, putting the kind of thought out there that, well, X may end, and if it does, it's going to be because these advertisers are not for free speech the way Elon is for free speech, right? That he's trying to set the narrative in advance for that. So do you think necessarily he has to keep it going? Or do you think
X is not ending?
No, it's
X
over.
won't end. No, it's not going to end. What he's saying is, hey, like they're killing Twitter, and he's going to have to infuse more capital. Someone will own Twitter. It will either be him entirely without any debt, because the debtor, he's going to be forced to covering that debt, and then he's just going to own the entire thing outright, or he'll be forced into a sale, but he doesn't need to sell it. He can simply sell SpaceX shares and sell Tesla shares to recoup that debt and just own it outright. I mean, I think that's what's going to happen. But as a Tesla shareholder that maybe wants to buy more Tesla, it might not be the worst thing in the world, right? So I think it's happening. I don't know what. I feel like it has to be in the next 6 to 9 months that something happens, because you need to give it a couple quarters for Twitter to actually have to show those losses to their bankers. Bankers are going to have to strategize and figure out how hard they push him to make good on revaluation of Twitter and coming up with the difference. But guys, I think it's happening. And I think it's happening.
Yeah,
next
look,
6 to
I
9
mean, the
months.
problem is that no matter what, with the comments that he made with Andrew Ross Sorkin, is any advertiser comfortable coming in when he's going to disparage them like that?
No,
and so
no.
If he sells some shares of Tesla or SpaceX or whatever, infuse that capital into Twitter or X, is that just a short-term Band-Aid? Because it's going to keep
Jordan,
if he's going to keep disparaging advertisers like that.
Jordan, nobody needs Twitter as an advertiser. Okay, we advertise, like, not for dumb money, but like we've been advertising for startups for 20 years.
Right? So like nobody needs it. And if he's going to behave that way, then why would any advertiser come there? Why keep the platform up if it's just going to continue to lose money with no advertisers?
Yeah, it's too small. The engagement levels on Twitter are way too small. The niche, the demographics are kind of interesting, but
yeah.
No advertiser is having any issues not advertising on Twitter. You're able to get plenty of impressions outside of Twitter, so it's a non-issue. I didn't think you realized that. So it's not looking good for Twitter, which is not looking good for short term. I think short term, it's a really big negative for Tesla. Also, the Cybertruck. Look, I just want to get your guys' reactions on Cybertruck, because I'm going to tell you right now, I was the biggest Cybertruck doubter for the last few years. I thought it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I still kind of think it's ridiculous. That said, I think the Cybertruck strategically for Tesla is freaking brilliant. I think it is the world's #1 automotive advertisement globally. It's probably, whether you love it or hate it, and I kind of hate it, not as much as I used to with the refinements they've done to the curvature, but I still hate it. That said, it's freaking awesome to bring eyeballs. I can't wait to see one in person. The first time I see one, I will be sprinting to check it out. I would do anything to drive in one. Like
And you know what you're going to do? You're going to take a picture of it, and you're going to post it to X, and you're going to post it to Instagram. You're going to share it. It's kind of like when the Sphere opened in Las Vegas, and it was this thing that nobody had ever seen. Everybody takes a picture of it, and everybody shares it. So you're right. It is a huge advertising platform for Tesla. So Tesla never has to actually spend dollars on advertising because people are going to do it for them. Anytime you see one, you're going to be excited that you saw one.
A high margin, high volume driver for Tesla, right? It's expensive to make. It's got to use a ton of lithium, right? And it's never they're never going to do any volume with it. So it doesn't, from a business standpoint, it doesn't matter, except maybe, like you said, to get some eyeballs on Tesla.
Well, you know, there are some projections, Jordan, that if he is able to produce, let's call it 500,000 units within a few years on an annualized basis, which, you know, he says, I think he wants to get up to 250,000 in the next couple, 2 years, 2-3 years, that it will it will meaningfully impact Tesla's bottom line by, like, I don't know, close to 15%. So, like, that said, you're right. It doesn't really matter. The big impact here is the impression on the brand that they could actually do something wild and cool and fun. And you know what, guys? I told you this before. I freaking hate cars the last 15 years. Cars are boring. They're not interesting anymore. You know what cars need? You know what the automotive industry needs? Is just something freaking fun and stupid and just something to, like, wake people up to have fun again with automotive. And you know what? That's what this did. I like, you got to give kudos to Tesla, man. Like, this is what automotive manufacturers should be like. They should be doing wild stuff like this, especially when they're going to sell every one they make. It's fun as hell, dude.
Remember 30 years ago when you would, like, see these concept cars that looked so cool, that looked like the future? I feel like we've finally seen a car manufacturer put out a concept car and then a few years later actually release it. We saw real people getting into these crazy looking things, and I think it's great. And I think that it is a huge, like, brand push for Tesla.
Did you guys see the video of it beating the 911 while towing a 911? That is stunningly cool.
I love how, like, it was a perfect shot too, because Elon's like, oh, one more thing, and then you see it's towing it. It was,
so it does remind me a little bit. So I was watching, some TikTok earlier, and maybe yesterday, and there was a Rivian that got, like, a little small dent on, like, the back fender, and the insurance company almost had to total the car, allegedly, because the entire side, like in the roof, it's all one, like, piece of metal. And so to repair this, if you were to actually replace the metal, would have been insane. Now they ended up, using paintless dent repair for that specific one. But if you were to have to replace some of these panels on these newer designs, I think the repairability, there's just a lot of issues right now with some of these newer companies.
They were shooting a machine gun at the side of the Cybertruck, and yes, you will have to get that panel, like, repaired, but it didn't go through. You could just leave bullet holes in this, or bullet impressions in the side of your Cybertruck. And
by the way, I was very disappointed. The original window experiment was with these steel balls, and the refreshed window experiment was with a little soft baseball.
It was literally a softball. They threw a real soft, the phrase, they throw a softball. That's what they did. It survives the softball test.
Literally threw a softball.
Guys, did you see the video that went viral this week of the I think it was a Raptor, or maybe it was like an maybe it was just a Ford truck or a Jeep. It might have been a Jeep, actually. Sorry. It was going up a sand dune, like this insane sand dune. And just a Tesla Y beat it. Like, it was Y, and I saw that, and I was just like, dude, the videos that are going to come out with the Cybertruck are going to be wild the next few months. Some of the promo videos, some of the stuff people will be doing with the Cybertruck, this is going to generate billions of dollars, I think, in media exposure for Tesla over the next year. And when I say media exposure, I mean media, like, through digital media, but also just one-on-one in real life exposure is going to be massive. Every individual in the world is going to see this truck, go up to it, have conversations with the owner. Like, remember when I was like the first person in Dallas to get a Ford Bronco, the new one. I
Mhm.
told you, like, I couldn't even leave my house. I would just go to the grocery store and I couldn't be left alone. There would be like 3 or 4 people coming up to me, just going to the pharmacy, wanting to have full on conversations about what I thought about the Bronco, want to look inside. It was fun for like a few months. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like to be driving a freaking Cybertruck the first 6 to 9 months, right? Just forget it.
And the
Your
people who
life
get
is
them the
over.
first 6 to 9 months, those are the very early adopters who got like the first ones to put their deposit down. Like I did it on the show. I put my
Yeah.
deposit down like years ago, I guess, but I'm so far down the list, I probably won't get it until 2026.
I thought you were insane, Dave. I think I might have actually also put my name on the list at some point, but I thought you were insane. But now it just seems kind of Are you when you would get one, right? If they offered it to you?
I would get it tomorrow. Elon, if you're
Yeah.
listening, I would just bump me up the list. I will talk about it nonstop. I will actually become a YouTuber again on my other channel and just be a full-on Cybertruck channel. Because
So now the
It,
first
it,
deliveries go to like employees and generally Tesla friendly people, right? Is that kind of
I
the
will be Tesla friendly. I could be the most Tesla friendly. I'll drive down to Austin and go pick it up myself.
by Tesla friendly? I mean like maybe NDAs and things like that.
I'll sign whatever they want,
w-
but I will
Yeah.
still have to be a YouTuber because I
w-
that would be just so. And that's what I feel like. There's going to be so much like just people when they get their early version or the first people to get them. I think are going to be just posting nonstop, and other people will be posting them doing stuff. Do you see that rollover
guys,
test where they had it like coming screeching into the dirt and it didn't roll over?
Yeah, I think all of the impact tests and all of the safety tests look really good.
it makes me think that if Elon weren't so accidentally divisive, and I say accidentally, like it's not that he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's kind of,
He just
I
doesn't have
don't
a
know. He
filter.
just
No, I think
he does.
a lot of it is accidental. He has opinions, but think about it. Like if Einstein were alive today and had access to social media, he'd probably be saying a bunch of dumb shit too.
He
Yeah, I
just
don't
has
think you can. I
really
don't think you can compare Einstein and Elon
no,
Musk.
no way.
They're both
I think
mad scientists.
I think Elon
No,
has.
Okay, how about
no.
Nikolai
One is a
Tesla?
legitimate scientist. The other one is a brilliant marketer. They're totally different people.
Yeah, agreed. I think Elon just has some really severe Asperger's, and it's not talked about. Everybody knows it, but it's not. It's not that it's an excuse, but it certainly is a major factor and is been an impediment for Tesla. Like I'm telling you guys, like I wonder where Tesla would be right now in terms of demand if it weren't for Elon the past 12 to 18 months and everything he's done, everything he's said. He's been so divisive. There are now so many people. It's no joke, guys. There are a large percentage of the population won't touch anything that Tesla does because of Elon, and it's really sad. And it, I will say I've been reading some reports that he's been losing some talent too, at both SpaceX, at in his AI division, that he has lost talent because of some of this. That's I think me makes me a little bit worried because you need those people. You have to have those people with where Tesla's going, with where we want it to go with humanoids, right? Which is the last
Yeah.
half of this conversation. And it makes me a little bit nervous. I don't know how much talent he's losing.
By
Yeah,
the
I don't know
way, have
either.
you
And I
seen the
literally
latest
try to follow his
videos of their humanoid robots?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you seen the latest videos of the humanoid robots where they're like
Yeah,
doing tasks?
yeah,
I saw what
yeah.
they were
It's
releasing back at AI Day, back in September, I think. And
Yeah.
uh, what is kind of amazing is they went from not being able to do much, barely being able to balance, to be fully end to end, like video input and motorized, output, sorting things,
Yep.
moving things around. They're completing tasks, learning how to do tasks. I know that they're trying to hire for like reinforcement learning engineers now. I get a lot of my information by following Tesla engineers. So I
Mhm.
created, my favorite feature on X is lists, because you don't have to follow someone. You can add them to a private list, and then you can just see a conversation of all of the Tesla robot engineers that I could find. Right. And I find them by finding the one that the Tesla Optimus account tweeted or retweeted, and then seeing who he follows and finding the other workers who are active on X.
But Dave, can you share that list with me? Can you actually just share the
Yeah,
list?
yeah.
Can you please do that? I would love. Is there a way for the community to have access
I
to that
can make
list
it a
somehow?
public list. Yeah, we can make it public. If you just go to at Dave Hansen on Twitter, I'll make it public this afternoon.
Oh, okay,
I
great.
have I
Thank
have a
you.
Twitter. I have a Tesla engineer list, and then a separate one for Tesla bot, because they're subsets of the same company, but the bot engineers retweet a lot of like interesting white papers on AI and like robotics, and I'm just a nerd. So yeah, I'll
So
and there's only like 3 or 4 of them that I follow, but it's to have them all in a single thread and filter out all the rest of X to get just those people. It's I think a great resource. I use lists all the time. I have Washington D.C. reporters as a list, because anytime there's a like some kind of thing going on, I want to be able to see what the actual reporters are tweeting from DC. I go to my Twitter. I'll make some of those public.
So part of the reason I'm here in Austin is also to hopefully get some updates on our humanoid company down here. And I was a
Which one
little,
are we invested in? Is it Aptronic?
um, yes, yeah, and I was a little bit, I was not discouraged, but I was kind of surprised because they're working with everyone, and I was like, I saw that Amazon was actually starting to deploy full humanoids in their for logistics with another competing company, because that's what these guys are doing. Like they're
Yeah.
the big boys like Walmart, Amazon, UPS. There's a handful of humanoid companies they're working with to just test, and I know that we're in the mix, but I wanted to kind of see kind of where these other ones were relative to our company, and also to get an update on kind of industry insight into Tesla's humanoid, because I know they've been somewhat secretive, but uh, that's the big thing that he's being kind of quiet about, and it's the most meaningful thing happening at Tesla. I've been saying this nonstop. The Tesla humanoid, I think, has the potential to be meaningfully larger than the entire automotive business. I think it can become one of the largest businesses we've ever seen in our entire lifetime, with massive barriers to entry, which is my number one concern for AI, is that there are not enough AI-based companies that have high barriers to entry. But when you start integrating AI into machinery that needs to be produced on manufacturing lines that are capital intensive and take years and years to iterate on parts and machinery, that's where Tesla can perhaps have such an edge, way more of an edge than they even have on other automotive
Yeah.
companies
And I think
for
that
electric cars.
Tesla's head start in manufacturing gets them closer to being the one that might make that humanoid robot accessible to the consumer.
Yeah.
It's 2 different classes of robot. One that you don't need to make, that many of, because how many possibly could every warehouse in Amazon,
A lot.
that's a big number.
A
That's a
lot.
big number, but the bigger number is how many, like if every person in the country decided they needed 1 or 2 at their house, that's a bigger number. And Elon has made the same prediction. He said that the same prediction that you just made, Chris. He said that he thinks that the majority of their long-term value at Tesla will be the Optimus. He said that the actual demand could be a huge number, like 10 billion units, maybe 20 billion units. So Elon's overestimation. I'm thinking that's 5 billion units, right? And that it would be vastly in excess of the number of cars.
Well, you have to understand. Don't think now. I know where Jordan's head's going. Jordan's head's like, well, he's trying to think about how many humans are doing work on Earth, and
So
how many of those it would displace.
Humans on Earth, 8 billion, and so he wants to basically have an order of magnitude the same as the number of humans.
But wait, Jordan, wait. But you're thinking about displacing humans. I'm thinking about it differently.
No, I'm just saying that you double the amount of humanoids if you take actual humans and
are there new things that you could do that you wouldn't even consider doing with a human, but if you had access to humanoids,
productivity, or are we displacing productivity? And I think that's the question.
Or are we doing things that we never would have even attempted to do previously because now we have $25,000 humanoids?
Yeah. So that would be like an increase in productivity.
Yeah, and I think that there are things that you and I, Chris, we will be the first to buy these stupid robots, right? And we will use them for things that we would not hire a human to do. I will have one come with me on vacation just to take pictures, right?
Yes.
You can do that with a drone now, but that takes too much effort. I just want one to follow me around and be an expert, have learned by watching other photographers of what makes a good photo, and then just go out with its own built-in camera eyes, I guess, and take pictures of a vacation.
Every single job where you have to get on a ladder, I think, is perfect, right? Because nobody wants to get on a ladder. It's dangerous.
Dude, it's so much more than that. I've been in deep thought on this question of how many humanoids is enough, and I fully believe that we're talking 2 to 3 per household. I'm just telling you, I see it, I visualize it. I've been thinking about this a long time, and I think the future is 2 to 3 humanoids per household.
Here's my question, right? So we know that you can't just have the self-driving car, but could the humanoid get to where it could drive your car?
Well, you could, but I don't even think that's you. Yes, you could.
You would need that. And I just put on the screen one of our viewers says Elon Musk also said there'd be a million robo-taxis by 2020. You just have to put it in Elon time. If Elon is saying that we're going to have humanoid robots in 2 years, that's 4 to 5 years. He's going to have the first version that like 20 people will be able to have.
Dude, forget about what Elon's like. Honestly, you don't need to go by this has nothing to do with Elon saying that humanoids are going to be big. Elon could come out tomorrow and be like, I don't care about humanoid. I wouldn't care. I would still have the same exact thought. I think we're at 2 to 3 humanoids per household eventually. I think manufacturing, logistics, operations, service industry, kitchens, everything. I see it clearly. This is the biggest opportunity of the decade as an investor. The next decade, I think. And you have to get ahead of it.
The investment opportunity to have it's like a generational opportunity. We don't get a shift in the types of things that people purchase and use like this since the automobile.
Yes, and the chips that will be required to not just operate these humanoids, but the chips that will be required to operate the AI in the cloud that is powering, call it 500 million to 1 billion humanoids globally that are doing complicated
not even in the cloud, just in their own self-learning, in their own neural network brain. That it's insane that it's insane to think that we wouldn't be using robots for things that can be learned and repeated. Like, if you think that a human surgeon is going to do a better job than the robot surgeon that has learned from every surgery that a robot has ever done before, I just think you're right. There's such a use case for them that both in industrial and in personal use.
Dave, look at what McDonald's is doing. McDonald's just launched a new brand called Cosmix, and the mascot of the brand, the entire brand, is based around a robot from the 80s McDonald's universe that actually has some interesting McDonald's lore attached to this character. And I think the reason why they're doing it is it's going to be only drive through and I think walk up. And I believe
And right now,
that
we just have to we have to clarify. This is a single location where they're testing this new product, and because it's in the public and the internet exists, everyone now knows that McDonald's is testing this. This is not something they're even talking about rolling out.
It's their version of Dutch Bros slash Starbucks.
Yeah.
It's sugary caffeine drinks and sugary energy drinks, just like Dutch Bros. It's genius. The market wants it. The market's already consuming it. McDonald's, it looks like a fantastic version of what they're doing. Like, I actually love the concept. But most importantly, I believe that this concept is going to be mostly robotic driven as well. So this didn't come from nowhere. I think McDonald's
building the drinks.
I think it's a PR thing. So McDonald's knows that this next concept is going to be heavily robotic operations, and they wanted to figure out a way to humanize that, to make it fun, to make it interesting, so that the public wouldn't have too much backlash about McDonald's having a place that was basically robotically driven. And so they made this mascot with an authentic robot from the McDonald's campaigns back in the 80s.
When they had the Fry Guys and Ronald McDonald out there with the cheese burglar and who else? Mayor McCheese.
But are you reading between are you seeing what's happening? It's all the robots are coming. They're freaking coming. McDonald's is rebranding their new restaurant as a robot restaurant, guys. It's inevitable. I can't stop thinking about this. And I still think, and I really hope that Elon gets his shit together, because this is just too big of an opportunity for Tesla.
So in addition to Tesla, though, are there any other public investments that will benefit from the robot world?
I think the AI picks and shovels will benefit. We've had that episode, we talked about, SMCI. We talked about some of the other pick and shovel. We talked, me and Jordan were on the phone the other night talking about ARM, which is insanely seems like it's still overpriced. Like, the valuations are ridiculous on ARM.
It still has that crazy IPO pricing. So.
But
there will be a time. I hope there's a time we can buy it, because I'd love to own ARM. But
all of your AI pick and shovel companies, I still think NVIDIA is a fascinating company when you think about what they're doing with software. So Amazon had an announcement this last week at their reInvent annual conference. It was fascinating because they talked about their 2 new AI chips that are internal to Amazon that they have come up with and are manufacturing, but they also announced that they're extending and broadening the relationship with NVIDIA. And the reason for that is not because Amazon wants to extend their relationship with NVIDIA. Amazon clients are demanding the NVIDIA AI ecosystem, right? So the ecosystem that NVIDIA has built out with their software that basically requires NVIDIA chips is really sticky and really powerful. And now Amazon is forced to having that installed inside so much of AWS. It's just absolutely, it has to be frustrating for Amazon. So NVIDIA is forcing themselves with this ecosystem into the big, cloud computing companies, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, all of them. NVIDIA is becoming more of a software company in a lot of ways.
It's an IP play. It's all intellectual property with them.
Yeah.
It's
and we could debate valuation and all that stuff, but Dude, I have to have my NVIDIA. Like it's a stock that if it falls more, I would consider,
By the
adding
way, Chris,
NVIDIA
people
again.
are protesting your use of NVIDIA instead of NVIDIA.
I know. I keep going back to it. I know how to say it. I just forget it.
It makes people insane.
It was a long night last night, guys. I went down to the mothership. For those of y'all that know, the mothership is Joe Rogan's comedy club in Austin. And dude, I know I texted you guys this already. That Joe Rogan show that I saw last night, love or hate Rogan, I have my issues with Rogan sometimes for misinformation. But that was just pure comic genius. He went on for like an hour, well over an hour. It must have been like an hour and 20 minutes. And he was just the last comic of the night and
Yeah.
put on a show that was so deep, so thoughtful, so magical. Like that guy has been honing this set. I assume he's getting ready for another big Netflix special or something because he's down there at his own comedy club twice a night, multiple times a week, putting on an hour show. This is $40. $40. You get the whole hit. You get the three comics before him and Rogan. It is the best ticket in
Good
Austin
deal
right now, guys.
in this inflationary environment that we have, it's almost a discount. That's great.
Yeah.
It is. I had the greatest time, guys. Like, and I was in the last row because I had to wait 2 hours and 20 minutes to get a walk-up ticket to that show, and I got in like 20, 30 minutes late. It was one of the best nights of entertainment I've had in a long time, and I go to comedy clubs a lot in Manhattan. I go to the Comedy Cellar there. This is like top 5 or 10 of my life down here in Austin. So highly recommend going to the mothership
right.
of you guys.
I'm going to have to,
it's not a paid advertisement.
No, I'm gonna have to make a specific trip down there just to see the show. It sounds too good to miss.
It was great.
And use our promo code. No, we don't have anything to sell.
No, God, I wish I could just buy. You got to buy tickets. They sell out in minutes every time they announce a new show.
Yeah.
But you can wait for a stand-up ticket, like 2.5 hours. So, theme of the episode, guys. I can't say it enough. We're going to start doing some deep dives into humanoids. That's why I'm down here in Austin. We want to be your one-stop shop for humanoid coverage. The next 2 to 3 years are going to blow your mind. Like I said, Amazon's using them right now. Logistics, full humanoids. The company we're working with is deploying and shipping their humanoids, I believe, within 4 to 6 months.
Yeah,
For
they have like 2
logistics.
humanoid robots on their website that look like they're just ready to go. One of them I think is available for purchase, and the other is like coming soon.
Yeah, and these are obviously all Gen 1, just hitting the streets for the first time. But I'm telling you guys, it's exciting. If you're an investor and you're like looking for the next big thing, we're not financial advisors. This is just like, kind of like our thoughts on what we're doing. But for me, it's humanoids. I will spend, I don't know, at least 10 hours a month on humanoid research, and maybe a lot more than that once we get closer to a lot of these humanoids launching in the next 1 to 2 years. Tesla is in the pole position.
AI experts saying that the next step towards that AGI that will come at some point is by having onboard processing in a humanoid that can go out and actually do things like that. That test of having a robot being able to walk through the front door of a place it doesn't know and look around and figure out how to go make a cup of coffee, that is only possible with a humanoid.
So Dave, I was on family vacation in New York last week for Thanksgiving, and I went into, man, I don't know if this is like, I think it might have been Macy's or Bergdorf's. Like at a high floor, they had this setup with a robotic coffee area, and you could pick any kind of coffee that you want, or hot chocolate, and it was basically just the arm of a humanoid, right? And this robotic arm was actually sifting through the cups, utilizing machines and different creamers, and it was taking it through all the steps, and it was so freaking cool just to watch. And you just go up, you scan your credit card, and the humanoid arm makes you any coffee you want perfectly, not like in some weird machine. Like it's
Yeah.
actually doing it the way a human would do it, but just the arm of the human.
I've seen video of like a robot bartender doing the same thing, like picking up bottles and pouring and like shaking and all that.
And this is all stupid stuff, like relatively simple stuff. You cannot wrap your mind around where this is going. You cannot do it. I'm telling you, it's going to do everything. It's going to take over everything. This is happening. We're looking at $25,000 to $35,000 a humanoid within 5 to 7 years. That's the estimate that people inside the industry have given me. And think about that, guys. Think about how expensive a car is. All right. Think about how like people are going to buy these at scale. Like they're going to, even if it only does a dozen things in your house. People will buy these at scale. I told you this. I want to walk my dog. Like just go walk the dog. Just go clean up.
I like walking my dog. I need the exercise.
No. Jordan, I walk my dog almost every day, but our dog needs multiple walks a day, and I can't necessarily because of the kids' schedule. Like we have a dog walker to ensure that our dog gets at least 2 walks a day. But the humanoid could do the one, right?
They already have like a dog-shaped robot that you could probably train to walk your dog. Like tie one leash to the other, and like they just both like robot crawl through the park.
Well, I tell you, like when we pay this guy, I won't say exactly how much. It's not a crazy amount of money, but he does training, sports. Like think about how big sports training is. Like my son, football, and he's awesome. I watch the training sessions. He's amazing, but there's nothing that he does with my son for X amount an hour that a humanoid couldn't do, and probably, let's be honest, couldn't pick up every single training bit of information that's ever been given on football for receivers, right? Cutting edge training, analyzing.
Like the one thing that he does probably is he bros down, right? And so that's good. He does.
You're right.
The robot's not going to bro down, and that's a big problem.
Really? You don't think it's capable, Jordan? Dude, okay. Let me just ask you guys.
I think it would be a sterile environment. You need the
Jordan, initially it will be sterile, but have you seen some of these AI companion bots and how good they're getting? Jordan, people are going to have AI companions and AI friends and AI spouses.
Like it's just a hunk of metal, right? It's that
okay,
conversation that you have with it's not real, right?
Okay,
it never went through what you're going through in middle school or high school, right? And so I think
you need
that person to identify with and to, like I said, if you're a boy, bro down.
Okay, so you're right. It'll be better to use the human trainer, but you do also understand that we are privileged, and most people cannot afford to hire human trainers at 70, 80, 90 bucks an hour, whatever they cost. So, and I know people pay a lot more than that for sports training. So how about everybody else? How about all the other kids that want access to private training but can't afford it? And now you have these humanoids, right, that you can lease out 24 hours a day.
Monetary wise, a humanoid robot, those things are going to be like $50,000.
Jordan, no.
Yeah,
They'll be think about
just using it for an hour at a time, and
they'll be $15 an hour. Yeah, you'll be able to. They'll be profitable they will be profitable at $15 to $18 an hour. So instead of spending $70 to $100 an hour for your soccer trainer for your kid or whatever, now the rest of the world that only has a budget of $17 an hour can go spend $17 and have their kids be trained by a sick humanoid that is unreal, maybe doesn't have the best personality in the first couple of years. By the way, I think the personalities are going to get good pretty quick. I think you're going to be surprised because I've seen some of the AI chatbot companions, and they are accelerating at a rate that you wouldn't believe. So this is going to democratize so much of life. That's what I'm getting at. The humanoids are going to democratize everything. Everything that only privileged people can afford to hire humans to do this stuff.
Every time something like this comes around, it's a money grab, right? And so it's another way to finance
Okay, but
things and
Jordan,
try to get more
okay,
money out of somebody.
But okay, yeah, but Jordan, think about it. Think about how many industries have been democratized by technology. We don't pay commissions now when we trade. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of order flow, a few pennies that we get screwed on, but who cares? We used to pay 6%, 4% of the trade back in the 70s and 80s to trade. Okay,
nobody just invests in stocks anymore. Now everybody wants to be an options bro, and so you know who's making money off of that, right? All the money that people are losing on all their options bets.
But that's just bad human behavior. That's just bad human behavior. Think about this. Imagine if you could purchase a human for $25,000 and own that human with a little bit of maintenance on an annualized basis, but basically the cost to buy a human is $25,000.
You're about to get canceled buying humans.
I'm just using it as a reference point. You're going to be able to buy a human that can work. Wait. A human that can work 23 hours a day, okay, that has all the knowledge in the world, that you don't have to worry about OSHA, you don't have to worry about it getting injured. It can literally do anything. It can work nonstop, and it costs $25,000. Just try to understand the impact that will have on humanity, okay? It goes well beyond every kid in the country getting access to a private trainer to be better at sports. And by the way, I do want to say that's kind of an issue. It's something I think about all the time because we live in an area, Highland Park, you know, we have more kids becoming professional athletes in the NFL and baseball. You know, they just Google Highland Park, people. Like it's almost obscene. And a lot of that is because there's a lot of wealth in our neighborhood. And so many of these kids have access to private trainers from the age 5, 6, 7, 8. It seems like a stupid thing, guys, but it really is a disadvantage for just so many regular kids that don't have access to that. And it's just one use case, but I actually think it's a use case that's going to play out. And I'm not joking around. I think that millions to tens of millions of kids are going to have trainers to both help them, whether it's with sports, listen, all kinds of stuff, like everything. Think of this, what this is going to do for elder care, guys. It's like
it's going to be so like a sports thing. Just could you imagine you get home from school and you're like, hey dad, you want to play catch? And dad's like, no, just take Fido the robot out, and you're just out there throwing with this cold, boring.
Well, that's sad, but I would like to think of it more as because I throw, my son's a receiver and I throw the football with him constantly. I like to think it's more after the 40 minutes of me throwing the ball with him, when my shoulder is about to, like, I cannot throw an extra ball, the humanoid can then sub in after that to finish the job. That's kind of how I think of it.
Humanoid has all of the experience of a NFL pro. And you're able to get, you know, it's just a totally
everybody have
different
to try to
level
be a pro
of experience,
Dave, or do we just realize that it's a very small amount, and we'd rather have that human connection of the dad playing catch with the son?
Jordan, this no, Jordan, this is going to create more
episodes of Black Mirror and doesn't want to have any technology ever.
I'm becoming anti-technology. I think the older I get,
you're turning into a grumpy old man who doesn't want to embrace future technology. You're like, okay, I'm just cutting it off. The iPhone is the highest level of technology I ever need. I don't need anything fancy. Think back to your parents saying the same thing about a VHS tape. That's it. That's as far as I'm going to go, and I'm not even going to bother setting the clock.
Yeah, I might go back to the horse, right? You know, and just say I've had enough.
Jordan, this will lead to more time for people to have human contact. Dude, the amount of time that, like, my dad had to like be at work doing the dumbest things with paper and so on. Now, like we actually have more time. Think about helicopter parents. The reason why there's all these helicopter parents, including me and my wife, is because so many of us actually have the ability to be helicopter parents, right? Where in the past, there's just technology actually does open up time. Now, what you do with that time, you can sit on TikTok and Instagram all day if you want, I guess.
Right.
But it does provide us with more optionality as humans to do more interesting things. Because think about all the stupid jobs we had 30, 40, 50 years ago. That was a complete waste of our time. Humans, even though the jobs we're doing today are still pretty stupid, they're not nearly as stupid as the stuff we were doing 30 years ago. The repetitive motion stuff that 90% of all workers were doing all day, right? So in 20, 30 years with all this tech and all the humanoids doing our jobs, we'll be able to get more creative. We'll be able to do better things.
Right? It's these jobs that that are just terrible for people's physiology, but yet we live in a world where there are jobs designed around people's physiology, right? And so I think that's a good use case for these robots, and that's where that's what I'm behind.
Well, and here
Yeah,
is a comment from KW. We're not here to debate whether it's right or wrong. We're here to figure out how to make money off of it.
yes,
Correct.
yes. But I think to figure out how to make money off it,
reframe our
You have to
conversation.
have, I mean, no matter what,
No.
you have to have ethics in life too, right? And I think it's a balance.
but you also have to come up with a thesis of how large this addressable market is, because that's still a big question mark. If you are at all on the side of me and Elon and think that this is going to be billions to tens of billions, whatever it is, on an annualized basis. By the way, I love the fact that this is hardware that will be getting so much better every year for the first 15 years, that the replacement cycle, all right, just think back to the replacement cycle with early phones, okay? Every year, same thing. Now, there will be a huge, like a used car market. Like, people would be happy to get the humanoids of 2 years ago that can't afford 25 grand, but they can afford like 10 grand for one that's a few years old. But the replacement cycle is going to be epic on this. So if talking about billions to tens of billions with a rapid replacement cycle, guys, this will be the most exciting thing for an investor to try to monetize, perhaps outside of just the internet itself. When it happened, I can't wait, dude. Like, I can't spend enough time doing research on this and just trying to figure it out. And we are still a little bit early. And that's why I'm kind of excited that Elon's screwing up Twitter and might have to sell another 10 billion of Tesla shares that will tank Tesla again, because it just provides another window, if you feel this way about Tesla and humanoids, to maybe steal some shares in the next 6 to 9 months, if that happens. It all works together. Twitter, humanoids, Elon being insane, saying the wrong thing, having to sell his stock. I don't know. I'm excited. But I do have to go, guys, because I have another humanoid company that I have to meet with here in Austin.
All right. I'm just checking to see if there was any other comments that we were supposed to cover, but I think that's it. But this is not over. Humanoids are going to be a major topic on this channel, like it or not. Hopefully you like it. And if you do, subscribe. We're trying to get to 100,000. We need another one of these plaques over here.
Hey, Dave, we added another 100. I saw it this morning. We're up to 98 too. So we're slowly.
It clicked over because it was 98 195 when I checked. So we just needed 5 more to click it over to the next 100 mark, because they only reveal publicly to the nearest 100.
Can I just answer Alan's question? Is Chris long Tesla now, Alan? So I announced a long time ago that I figured out the perfect amount of Tesla to own to kind of properly manage your Tesla FOMO. And it took me a while, but I determined that the perfect amount of Tesla in one's portfolio to avoid Tesla FOMO is 4% of a portfolio. That's not advice. That's for me. So 4% of my portfolio is Tesla. That said, I'm considering doubling that if Tesla gets destroyed because Elon has to cash out again to support Twitter, purely because of my thesis on humanoids and that Tesla will be a major player in the humanoid market.
So
So it could
4%
go up
is
to 8.
your not going to have FOMO number, and 8% is your I'm really happy with my life choices.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Mine's much
That's
higher
right.
than that, mainly because I got in Tesla so long ago that my cost basis is low. Back pre when they did that 5 times split, that I can't afford the tax bill on selling Tesla. So I'm a perma bull here. I can't get out of Tesla. But I would buy more, even though I have way too much of my portfolio allocated to it. I think I would buy more if it drops, because I'm like you. I see this as a long-term company that I want to own throughout the robot revolution, unless something unexpected happens, and I can't imagine.
I can't believe that someone just called me out. Remember when we did a Forever episode years and
Yeah.
years ago?
Yes.
And I made the biggest mistake. I'm so embarrassed. I picked Disney.
You picked Disney.
I picked, and
probably
it's
the
not.
all-time high for Disney.
I'm out. I'm out. I had sold Disney a while ago. Like I do not own any Disney. And dude, what a cluster! There will become a point in time when I will want to own Disney again. But
The funny
guys,
thing
like,
is,
oh,
I
by the
think
way,
Jordan's all-time pick was Tesla, and I think he sold it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I did.
And I know
yeah.
my all-time pick was the VOO, the S&P 500 index, because I was sneaky and didn't pick an individual company because I knew that I would win.
another story related to Disney in a weird way. I'm here in Austin for a big event at Capital Factory, my favorite startup incubator venture fund that we're all partners in. And I think they have Mark Cuban coming to the event today. I think he's speaking at this event I'm going to, and I'm gonna I really hope I get the opportunity to ask him a question, because
Yeah,
him
we have
selling the
some good
Maverick,
questions for him.
him
Get him to
selling the
come on Dumb Money.
Mavericks. Oh, that would be awesome. But him selling a majority share in the Mavericks this last week to the Adelson family in Vegas, who I've been following forever, so that he can get this linkage with casinos to bring casino gambling to Texas, because he wants to open this massive, like, Venetian style casino arena in Dallas where the Mavs are going to play. But it's really also about the destruction of media dollars, and how that is going to impact sports revenue over the next decade. That's what he's seeing here. So there's dual reasons why he did that, because it really is. This is absolute destruction with network cable going away, with the disruptions that's happening with streamers. What we saw with ESPN, the ESPN numbers for the first time about a month and a half ago, this is destruction for Disney. This is destruction for all the sports leagues, and they're stuck in these long-term contracts with players. At some point in the next decade, they're going to see some massive hits, I think, to their revenue line, because there's just not enough money going around on the network side anymore. You can't force people to pay for it. So I think that really is destructive for Disney. I don't want anything to do with Disney right now. And by the way, do you see even their Wish movie bombed? That was like their one movie of the year that was like a lock. That bombed last week.
I didn't see. I'm not a Disney Plus subscriber. I don't know what's going on with them.
Someone asked how the latest NFT I bought is. Oh no, I don't even know. I haven't looked at it since I bought it. That was
The crypto in general is doing pretty well right now, though.
Yeah,
my
is.
Bitcoin's doing great.
Yeah,
it is, and I don't. No comment. I think there's more exciting stuff happening in the equity market. But
Well, if you want to
like
hear more of
humanoids.
that exciting stuff, be sure you subscribe to this channel because you never know when we're going to be on. And I know that you have a meeting to run to, Chris. So we're going to say thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. We are Dumb Money. We'll see you next time.